Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Any progress in tackling rough sleeping is to be welcomed. Indeed, rough sleeping in Scotland is at a record low thanks to the concerted efforts of frontline homelessness services, local authorities and the Scottish Government to move people off the streets since the start of the pandemic, having invested £32.5 million, more than half of its £50 million Ending Homelessness Together action plan, to support local authorities to prioritise settled accommodation for all, providing £60 million to fully mitigate the unjust Tory bedroom tax for over 70,000 Scottish households, and delivering almost 97,000 affordable homes since 2007, in contrast to Scotland's previous Labour-Lib Dem administration, who built only 6 council houses in 7 years. With the limited powers at its disposal, the Scottish Government is doing all it can to tackle rough sleeping and homelessness with increased urgency during this health pandemic. However, in reality, the fact is that poverty often leads to debt, and debt is a genuine factor in homelessness. If the Secretary of State really wants to prioritise rough sleeping and homelessness and raise the safety net, as he has said, he could use his reserved powers to at least maintain the local housing allowance increase beyond March 2021, instead of freezing it next year. He could suspend the shared accommodation rate for under 35s, and he could make permanent the £20 uplift to universal credit and working tax credit, and extend an equivalent uplift to people claiming legacy benefits who have unjustly been denied this lifeline. We know this is important, since the removal of this uplift will push a further 60,000 people into poverty. He could also cover the average cost of rents to ensure people are supported to stay in their homes. So if the Secretary of State is really serious about raising the safety net, will he at least work to implement these measures as quickly as possible?
Secretary of State.
Well, I'm interested to hear the Honourable Lady's comments, and of course we are committed to working with anybody who takes an interest in this issue and shares our commitment to it across the United Kingdom. We have, of course, put in place unprecedented amounts of money to support this issue and to care for the most vulnerable people in our society, and the Scottish Government, through Barnett Consequentials, will receive their share of the funding that I've set out, £750 million within England for homelessness and rough sleeping, a 60% increase on the previous spending period, so a very substantial increase. A year ago, we did uplift local housing allowance to the 30th percentile, providing further support equivalent to around £600 a year for a household, which will have ensured that many households find it much easier to survive the challenges of the last year. The other questions that she refers to with respect to universal credit are no doubt ones that my right honourable friend the Chancellor will consider as he prepares for his budget.